Hi, I am Rachel Elder, therapist and owner of Connected Couples Counseling. On the blog this month, we talk about the myth of the right partner or the perfect partner or the most compatible partner. I want to encourage you to go read it. I'm going to just share my own kind of perspective on this, the experience I have sitting with clients when they are dating or exploring relationship or in tension moments with their partner, and they have this idea of like, is this the right person for me? And I always talk about this quote. We have a blog post on it, but I love the quote by Esther Perel where she says, we all will have multiple relationships in our life. Some of us with the same person and some of us with multiple people. And the reason I love that is because it comes right to this idea of that there's a right or perfect or the most compatible partner. Compatibility is a mindset. It's a choice. We create compatibility. It's not that, I had a Mr. Right list. I grew up religious. I had this Mr. Right list that I made in high school and I updated all the time. And I wish I had it to pull it out just to see. But it said like my Mr. Right was someone who played guitar and sang, and at that time they were going to be a pastor, they were going to be religious, they wanted to have 8 kids, they had dark hair, they were tall, blue eyes. Like, these were the things that were on this Mr. Right list with some like values. And, there was some benefit to it. It helped me not just date anyone and everyone, but helped me know like what was I looking for at the time. The funny thing is, if you saw a picture of my husband, you'd be like, tall, dark, and handsome. I think he's handsome. He doesn't have dark hair, and I think he's great. But, just a Mr. Right list is just an idea. There isn't a perfect list out there of check this box and this person is right for you. And yet this is instilled in us, right? I got instilled in this in the Christian faith. But I think about Disney movies, right? This perfect Prince Charming, or like there's that one person in the world for you and all these things have to come together to find them. I just don't believe that. I think about my own phase of dating and think I probably could have made a relationship work with a few people I've dated in my lifetime. Now, whether they were the right person for me, I don't know. I think it's a choice I made. I'm really grateful for the choice I made in my husband. But I don't believe there's a right partner. I think there are the pieces of what do we each value and need in relationship, and that doesn't always line up with someone else. So that should be something we are exploring when it comes to creating a committed partnership. What is it I value? What do you value? What are the shared relationship values that can make this a more right partner for us? So like when I was dating my husband, at the time I wanted 8 kids. I do not have 8 kids. I have 1 kid. I can't imagine having 8 kids today, but that was the vision of, I wanted this large, cheaper by the dozen kind of family. And on our first date, I think he asked like, do you want kids? And I said, yes. And I said, what about you? He's like, I'd be okay without them. And at that moment, that could have been of like, we're done. But we had a conversation of, there was an openness to kids, and I said I wanted 8 kids, right? Very shocking. But there wasn't any secret keeping, but there was definitely this, I have a value of having family. His value wasn't necessarily that he wanted that, but he was open to it. And so there was this ability to like, okay, so compatibility could be created in this relationship. Obviously it did. We have 1 kid. But if we just take that first response, that first look, or now these dating profiles, like what's on a profile as like, this is right for me, this is wrong for me, I think we miss so much more about actually learning about what compatibility is, how it is a choice on both ends, how we can create that. So this idea of the right partner is totally a myth. What I think makes that right partner is the person that you are dating or you're building a life with, are they willing to have the conversations about creating a shared vision, creating a shared purpose and meaning for life together, where we honor and respect each of our perspectives and needs, and we find a way to merge them and create them together? Or are you just on like completely opposite ends, not willing to compromise, very stubborn in your approaches? You know, there's a lot of questions there. Like, what do you do with that, and where do you go? You probably need some support and guidance. I think what makes a right partner is two people having the growth mindset together. This idea that who we are today is going to change and evolve, and it should change and evolve. We should want to better ourselves, improve ourselves, keep learning, doing this failing forward process together. And that's what can make a right partnership, is both parties coming together and doing that. But even in those, I think the hard part with this idea of like a right partner is it's so subjective for each of us. I think about my friendships of like, I don't want to be married to their husbands. I think there are things that are great about them, but I think about, I'm really grateful for my husband, my partner, because what we have created together is uniquely ours. And what we value, what we have needed, has been something that we have found compromise and we continue to fail forward in together. And that is my rightness for me. That is what I need in relationship versus what one of my girlfriends need in their partnerships. So the right partner is so subjective that there isn't this idea of like, if they check these boxes, this is what makes them right. With relationship, kind of going back to that Esther Perel quote, to have multiple marriages with the same person requires having a growth mindset, requires being willing to grow and change and evolve, and not fighting to get back to what was, but to take the goodness of what was and apply it to what will be good in this season of life. To have that kind of relationship requires investment and intention and effort. And I think if I had to say that was a right partnership, that is what it would be from my perspective. But I'm curious for you. Like, I love the comments. I love when you engage. What do you think about this idea of a right partner? How have you navigated finding the right partner for you? What are your beliefs around this idea, or what I call a myth? All right, let me know. Until next time.